So the main thing we're looking for with footprint is where are buyers or sellers wrong. So as we're moving higher, we had an area that was acting as resistance, and we had high volume. See the 589. And every time we moved into it, buyers were being aggressive, but are they being rewarded? All this green, I would say they're not being rewarded at the moment. So each time they're getting trapped, but as we came back and tested once, sellers became initiative and they pushed it into a area of low volume. You can see over here, filled some market depth orders or some limit orders, and we see some high selling, pretty high selling. Sellers are really putting effort in, but are they being rewarded? I would say no. And when they're not rewarded, where they have to have their stops somewhere. So some might have their stops here, some might have their stops here. So as we pushed into this low volume area, sellers were not able to get below it. So buyers absorbed. Let me see if I can. Buyers absorbed all the selling that we saw. 1452, 1137, 228, 63, 31. All the selling was absorbed, moved higher off of the low volume area into a psychological level, 5900. And on a higher time frame, this is the top of our range, kind of. And yeah, so right here on the left, or the right, my bad. All we have really is the delta chart. So this is showing what we're seeing here. This is just delta by price. So as we have the prices, 5900, 5895. This is showing the difference between buyers and sellers. So as we were below this level, there was a lot of selling. As we got above it, now there's a lot of buying. Pretty simple. It's useful sometimes, but don't put too much focus onto it. These variable high volume nodes, VHVN, that's just the high volume on this volume profile. And this is just showing the day's volume profile. We have the session VWAP. We have IB mid, point of control, IB low, value high. And really it's just looking where buyers and sellers could be wrong. Right now, we have this chart as well. Like I was saying, we have the edges, low volume area here. You can see it dips in. I can't see my mouse. See it dips in. See the same up here. It kind of, there's nothing here. That's a low volume for the moment. Projecting that prices. And yeah, if we can get below this area of support, we can look over to the left. Always look left for a volume. See some volume right here. But what's happening here? Oh, tons of selling. Is that selling being rewarded? I would say at the moment, not really. Unless we can get below this area of support. So we can see there's sellers being very aggressive. 395, 3894, 441. That's just the aggressive. It's basically just coloring the dominant side. And yeah, we're just doing this. Over here, this is just a volume by price. Same thing as the current day. But this is just showing for the 15 minutes. What are we seeing? We were having some buying, but as we pulled lower, sellers were not able to hold it below these prices. So we tapered off. And as we tapered off, came in, moved higher. We had a lot of buying defending the very high. Moved higher out of our range that we're currently in. Buyers were at the highs. Buyers weren't really rewarded at the highs so far because we haven't got higher yet. And that's right now we're seeing selling at the lows, but it's tapering off. So buyers are absorbing. Sellers are defending. And we have the DOM, the DOM, depth of market. And it's useful. I don't honestly use it too much. Nothing really interesting to me on here. I can read off what each one means. So going from left to right, left being the big numbers here, not the delta by price. We have the current traded bid volume, current traded ask volume, the bid size. Recent bid volume is in the middle, so 41, 1, 3, 4. Right here is just the recent bid volume. Then on the right side is recent ask volume, ask size, and then current traded volume is on the very left here, or on the very right. That's really everything. We do have the time. Let me just activate my mouse. Yeah, so we do have our time and sales over here. It's really just highlighting. If you see a highlighted color like 27, 22, anything over 20, it highlights. This was the DOM I was talking about. So we have the current traded volume, the size, current recent size. We also have this one I'm messing around with, which I think is pretty useful. It kind of shows the edges better for me, so I might use this one rather than using this one. That's just preference, so we'll have to see how that works out. But you can see we have our range right now. We can see there's a lot of selling, but we have a buying delta here. Switch back to here. A lot of selling. As we move higher, a lot of selling. So as prices move higher, we're asking, where's too expensive? If you're a buyer up here, do you want to buy up here? I don't. I would rather buy down here. So we have to wait for prices to be rejected. They have to be checked. So we could always do it like this. The sellers that were here stepped lower, and now they're here. And if we get below this area, I'll just leave it as lines. If we get below this area, we could return to or move to session VWAP. We did have point of control shift. So when we see point of control shifts, that's basically retail buying it higher up here. Oh, wait a second. One. Oh, I guess it hasn't shifted yet. I think this one's on a different tick size. If I can find it. There it is. Yeah, it's on 2 tick size. Oh yeah, there it is.